I'm talking about a concert that starts with Narong Prangcharoen's Phenomenon, a piece that we have already presented here in Oregon to great acclaim. It's a piece that was written in the 21st century by Thailand composer Narong Prangcharoen that depicts a natural phenomenon that happens in Thailand every year and that has something to do with light. After that, we go to Germany and we play a piece that actually features songs in a slightly Broadway-esque style. The Seven Deadly Sins by Kurt Weill, which is essentially the trip of a young lady by the name of Anna, who travels around the United States to several cities, and in each city a deadly sin is awaiting her, and at the end she goes home. That is also in the original score. There was the idea that there are actually two ladies on stage. One is the singer and one is her sister, who is a dancer. But of course, if we do this piece in a normal concert setting, there will be no dancer, and this is, by the way this piece is being performed very often nowadays. So a very different color. And then after intermission, we start with this music for a cinematographic scene by Arnold Schoenberg. And maybe I explain one little thing. Instead of talking about this piece in particular, I talk a little bit about what I would call the clash between the composer Arnold Schoenberg, who at that time could easily be regarded as an avant-garde, and the bosses of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in the United States. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer approached the immigrant Arnold Schoenberg and said they want him to write music. At that time, they, by the way, wanted him to write music for the play or the movie based on the novel The Good Earth by Pearl S. Buck. And what Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer had in their mind was actually something like a piece called Verklärte Nacht by Schoenberg, which is late romanticism, wonderful, intense, colorful, but very enjoyable. Whereas Schoenberg, at the time when he talked to the bosses of MGM, was already in a very different stage of his composition. So you kind of imagine how this dialogue might have gone along and what the problems were. At the end, we have this wonderful piece of music that is held in a very modern language, and it's very intense music. And after that, we actually are going to play two of the most famous pieces of orchestral literature, which at first sight have nothing to do with each other. We are going to play the Unfinished Symphony by Franz Schubert, and then Maurice Ravel's La Valse, which is kind of a crazy idea, and we are going to try to play those pieces without applause. Now, why on earth are we doing something like that? Well, our idea was actually to link two things together with these two pieces. The idea of mortality and death, and the idea of Vienna. Of course, on one side you have this idea of mortality in its most beautiful way in the symphony by Franz Schubert, and there is this sublimation of the soul at the end of the music, and you go simply to heaven. And of course it's music that comes from Vienna, where Schubert lived. And then we go directly to Maurice Ravel's La Valse, which is kind of a piece that he wrote in order to honor Johann Strauss. But he also, in his own way, Ravel depicts the morbidity of the Viennese character. Viennese are very much in love with things that are related to death. So we are here talking about a Viennese waltz written by a French guy, and where the idea of dying, as the Viennese like it, is eminent. It might all be a very crazy idea, but I think it's a very enjoyable concert.